Okay guys, I'm about to show how I make clump foliage for my mountains and all that. Now there's plenty of other YouTubers who are doing it as well, but I'll show you how I'm going to do it. So first of all, I've got a piece of foam, probably an inch thick, 3/4 of an inch. And what I do is I cut them into strips. And then I'll cut them into cubes, like ice cubes. And then I just go just like so. So I'll just cut the rest up, then I'll be back. Okay, and now all my foam's cut in cubes. I then put it in the mixer. Like so. Now that it's in the mixer, I'll add water. Doesn't matter how much water you add, as long as the foam's going to be totally wet. Like so. And then once you've got all your water in, I just squash it down just so that the top of the water is sitting right on the top of the foam. And now all I've got to do is turn it on. Now, with this mixer anyway, the longer you run it, obviously the better. So it don't matter if you go 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So the more you can chop it up, the better. So I'll put the lid on. So now I'll turn it on. So as you can see, it is starting to chop it up, but as I said before, the longer you do it, the better it is. So just because you think that might look ready, it's not. So I would do it at least for 5 minutes. And I'll show you what it looks like if you don't do it for 5 minutes. So I'll keep going. And instead of you boring you for 5 minutes of me mixing, I'll just keep going and I'll show you what it looks like after about 5 minutes. And also guys, when you mix it, you don't have to do it for the whole 5 minutes just in case you blow up the blender. You can do it for a couple of minutes, let it sit, come back and keep going. Alright, just thought I'd let you know that. Okay guys, me 5 minutes is about up. So now what I do is get a container, like so, and then I pour the foam through a sieve. Might get another bowl. And I just pour the whole and squash all the water out. It doesn't have to be all the water, but and then and as you can see, oops, so what I'll do now is I will do the rest of the foam and get my bucket full, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some PVA glue in 1 cup. But how much PVA is up to you, but I normally do about that much in a cup. And I also put water, not so much, and then I stir it. Now this PVA glue is what sets the clump foliage. If you want to put more in, you can put more in, which I'll put a bit more. Now the paint I'm using is actually a sample pot, which is a fir tree colour. So this one's sort of going to be a nice green. Now the same again, it doesn't matter how much paint you put in, but I'm going to do a couple of teaspoons. Probably 2. And also mix that with water. And then also how much water you want to put in is up to you to try and get the colour you want. So now I have my paint and my glue. Also, that's the clump foliage once it's all mixed together. What I'm going to do now is put it in the white bucket, which is my mixing bucket. Now that the foam's in the bucket, what I do is I tip in the paint and I tip in the glue. then what I do is I just pick it up and spin it around. Now if you want it darker, you can add black paint. If you want it lighter, just use more water. That's sort of the colour that the fur paint is making it. And you just pick it up and squash, and you can see the paint coming out. Just so you know, you can get all the colour through the foam. So I'll go to this colour, so lighter green. And as I'm squashing all the foam out, and then putting it all on the paper. Now that I've got all of it there, I'll leave it on the paper to dry. But I will sift out the rest of that paint. Okay guys, this was a batch I done the other week instead of waiting another couple of days for the foam to dry. That is what it looks like when it's all finished. So this is some of the green I've put up today. A little bit there. And all along there. So I thought I'd just show you what it looks like on the layout. So that's how I make clump foliage. And also that's what the PVA does. You see how it's all clumped together. And you can pull it apart. And just to show you the difference on my clump foliage and the Woodland Scenics one is, this is mine and this is the Woodland Scenics. So it didn't come out too bad. But down here was my first attempt at making clump foliage, but it's really too big still, the pieces. So it just needs to go back in the blender to be chopped up more finer.